Welcome to the G.N.A podcast, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol, where we get messed up and we talk about stuff. I've got a super special guest on tonight. I'm going to introduce him in just a second. But first off, we've got Zyber coming back for this evening show. How are you feeling, man?
Feeling all right. I'm glad I decided to take a later shift than normal. Forced one of my trolls to work my shift, not work theirs.
Fantastic. I love when things work out like that.
Right?
And we are joined by a person I've actually been following for quite some time. I say follow, it's more like stalking on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. He is an actor, writer, producer. I've tracked him when he was doing the con circuits. Welcome, Colin K. Bass. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys. It's going to be fun.
Dude, I am so excited. I've been following you for quite some time. I think the first thing I saw of yours was when you were doing some cosplay at some of the cons, and I was super excited. In fact, it was funny. I was following you for a very short amount of time, and I think it was a Target ad, and I saw a picture of a Luke Skywalker costume for Halloween, and I went, "Is that look? I think that's Colin." And then I actually posted it on your webpage, and I'm like, "Is this you?" And you're like, yes, it is. I'm like, nice.
Yeah, I did about 6 years of Halloween costume modeling, and some don't make it, and some go back in circulation. So I'll just be at the store during Halloween season, and I'll see myself as like Frankenstein or Luke Skywalker or something like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I did that," and they own the image for until I die, basically.
Dude, that is awesome. Well, first segment of the show, what is everybody drinking? Colin, are you drinking something tonight?
Yes, I'm keeping it simple. I'm drinking a raspberry White Claw, the hard seltzers, and nice and refreshing. My favorite's black cherry, but raspberry is my second favorite. And yeah, those are like my wind down drinks when I do drink. And they're just my favorite, dude. I may have too many of them at once. They're so good.
Oh yeah, they go down so smooth and so easy. Yeah. I for some reason I'm not a huge fan of the hard seltzers, but there are a couple that I can like, and I think it's the black cherry White Claw that I actually do like.
That's mine. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, that is a fave of mine. What are you drinking, Zyber? Or are you drinking anything tonight?
I have been pre-graining on Guinness all night, and that's what I'm sticking with.
I absolutely love it. Yeah, Guinness stout. Can or bottle or can?
Unfortunately, all they had were bottle, and yeah.
That's all right. It's still, hey, Guinness is good. I myself am drinking a tequila. It's actually a sipping tequila, or I feel it's a sipping tequila. I'm probably going to say this horribly wrong, so I apologize to anybody. And please write in and correct me, but Clase Azul Reposado? I hope I'm saying that right. Unfortunately, English is my first language. I'm hoping that's not English.
Careful on how you say that. You might summon Raven's dad.
Touche. This is actually a really great tequila, and it comes in a porcelain bottle, which everybody who's on the show obviously can see it right now. If you haven't seen it, check it out, Google it. It's a porcelain bottle, and it's hand painted, so every single bottle is slightly different than the next. The top of it has this strange metal clasp or metal cap thing to it that if you hit it just right, it's like a I can't do it on the show, unfortunately, because it noise cancels. But it's a bell. It actually makes a gong sound. For a tequila, I say it's a sipping tequila because most tequilas I don't really care for. There's not a lot that I enjoy. This is very smooth, has very little bite, and that's kind of like tequila aftertaste isn't really there at all. I mean, it's there, but it's not like I need a salt lick to get this out of my face. So
it's no Scorpion.
No, it's not mezcal. It's definitely not mezcal. This is yummy. I would definitely suggest getting it. It is more expensive of a tequila, so it's not something that you're going to just jump out and like get all the time. But for an occasion like this, if I don't have my 40-year-old scotch, this is definitely going down the hatch.
Yeah, sounds good.
Mm. Yeah, are you a tequila man?
Yeah, I mean, I think my go-to is usually like beers and seltzers and stuff. I really like going to breweries and trying the different flights of them and stuff.
Oh,
But then
nice.
if I am drinking hard, which I haven't been lately, but if I do drink hard, I usually just hit fast forward and go for a Long Island iced tea.
Nice. Those are
Oh
my
yeah,
go-to. Oh my
man.
goodness. We had a place here that used to do Long Island iced tea pitchers,
Whoa!
and would
Oh,
just do
Thank you.
like 3 or 4 Long Island tea pitchers and call it a night.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you just hit the fast forward, you go straight to a buzz after one of those.
Yep.
oh yeah. That's like the 1, 2, 3 floor thing. Oh my god. Like I remember TGI Fridays used to have those fishbowl.
Yeah.
They had fishbowl margaritas, fishbowl Long Island iced teas. I used to go there and get like 2 of those and just stumble out. It was fantastic. Oh, so good. Um, Second segment, as always, State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about what we've been playing for the past week, or just pontificate about what we feel gaming is as of today. So let's reverse that order. Zyber, what is your State of Games, man?
Well, my City Games has been Shrouded, a game that you got for me. I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah.
I ended up getting Pal World the other day, and um, it's interesting. It's very Pokemon, and it's deeper into like the idea of, well, Pokemon's just, you know, uh, freaking Stockholm syndrome slavery.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
yeah, it's pretty interesting, especially when you literally equip your Pokemon with an AK-47 and
Right?
go kill that one. Nice. How about you, Colin? What's your State of Games?
Currently, I always hop back in when there's a cool like Fortnite crossover. So they just did Ninja Turtles, and I'm working on a Ninja Turtles project. So I'm like very in my turtle like fan era. So I hopped in and played Fortnite with my guys. I have like a little Xbox crew. We all play together. And then long term, that's going to take forever to get through because of scheduling. But I'm also playing Baldur's Gate 3 with them too.
Oh,
My
nice.
favorite
Yes.
game I think ever is Baldur's Gate 3. And I have a game. I have a game for myself. I have a game with my girlfriend, and I have a game with the boys. So I just kind of hop back and forth into the different saves with them. And then I'll randomly hop on Game Pass and try things that look interesting, but nothing's really stuck out to me. And then we always try to hop on Sea of Thieves when there's an update too. So I'm really into playing with other people.
Oh, I love Sea of Thieves. I haven't been a huge Fortnite fan, but I respect that game is huge and it's got so many different crossovers in it that I got to give it props.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sea of Thieves, man, I've been playing Sea of Thieves ever since it first came out, and that game is still as fun as the day I started.
I mean,
Yeah.
we started that back in beta.
N- did I
Yeah,
start Sea of
we
Thieves in the
played it
beta?
pre-launch. We all
Wow.
played it pre-launch.
Oh shit, I think you're right.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that game's just super fun. Um, my brain just melted. You listed 3 games. You had said hold on. I'm not.
Baldur's Gate,
Fortnite.
Sea of
Baldur's
Thieves.
Gate. That was it. That was what I was going to say. The way you describe playing Baldur's Gate, that is the way to play it because I have started that game with 4 different groups and gotten to 4 separate spaces on each one, and I have yet to actually get past Act 1 in that game
Oh no!
because I keep waiting for all those people to get together and we never do.
Yeah, I beat it on solo by myself, obviously, and then I played it so wrong, dude. I just kind of rushed through and went to the checkpoint, didn't explore every nook and cranny like we should, and then I played it through with my girlfriend, where we definitely explored everything and tried like different options from what I did during my game, and then so I've beaten it 2 times total, and then.
Wow.
Yeah, but I did it so wrong. Like my hours on it were like embarrassing, and I was like, yeah, I didn't play this game right. And then the second time when I beat it with my girlfriend, we went everywhere and did everything and like had a really really good time. So now on our new playthrough, we're still trying to do different things from last time. It's just that game is so amazing with how different everything can be each time you play. It's just so great.
I concur. I currently have 253.7 hours in that game.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Respect.
I have beaten the game a few times myself, and I find myself now getting to a certain point in the game, like right before you talk to that one character that's like, "Hey, my parents are gone." When you get to Boulder's Gate, and end up saying to myself, you know what? I want to try a different route this time because it seems like I just went on a rail and repeated what I just did. But I've been playing this game way back through every innovation of the beta launch, and
Wow.
I'm
That's
pleased. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been playing that game for a while. I've noticed you've been playing that for a long time. Yeah, have either of you gone through and spoke to all the animals yet?
I
Not
started
yet.
to with
I
one
did with the
character.
cats.
Yeah, I didn't do all the animals, but I kept I kept trying to do it more often in these games because they're funny. Those little chipmunks crack me up. Yeah.
Dude, they talk just like how I would think an animal would talk.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
The
My
cats
state of games
are evil. Did you talk to the cats?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, they're
Horrible.
evil as hell.
Okay, I want to talk to them. I'm a dog person anyway, so.
Well, my state of games is actually pretty simple. For about the past week, I've been playing 3 different games. One of them it came out back in July, I think, of last year, Exoprimal. Exoprimal is, if you haven't checked it out, it's by Capcom. It's incredibly polished. In fact, I've only ever gotten one glitch, like really weird glitch in the game. It's basically, the way I can think of it is, if you what Blizzard said Overwatch 2 was going to be is what we got in Exoprimal. It's PvE with PvP elements into it, and it's really polished. It's really fun. Except you're shooting dinos. Like that's the whole point of the game, is you're shooting a bunch of dinos.
And you can literally turn into a dino.
Yeah, you can. You can actually use the Dominator when it gets to the PvP portion, or even the PvE portion where you're facing each other, and send a dino, and you control a dino and go attack them. It's super fun. There's a bunch of different exoframes that you can use, and they do double XP weekends. Like, I think there's another weekend coming up end of this month, maybe early next month. A super fun game. Check it out. It's a good shoot 'em up, third person, with powers. It's an entertaining game. Second game I've been playing is a game I've been playing forever, and I'm probably going to be playing it forever, which is Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Yeah.
I concur.
I will probably be playing that until I'm dead. For some reason, they decided that it was a good idea to get it playing on everything, so I play it on a potato. And actually, my potato I refer to is actually my Steam Deck, because now I can sit down in bed and play it and not sleep, because I don't need to. I have Skyrim. The latest game I just got into, I think, was fairly recent released, Helldivers 2. If you haven't checked this out, this game is way more fun than it is supposed to be. It reminds me of Starship Troopers crossed with like Warhammer 40K like mentality. Even though Starship Troopers was kind of already Warhammer 40K in its like thought process. Third person, you run around shooting bugs. Like that's the game. You run around shooting bugs. You go find bug hives. You close bug hives. There's all little kind of like submissions to doing it. They're quick, drop in, do the mission, jump out, just like Exoprimal. I really like those kind of games. Not that I don't like, I mean, obviously I like longer games too, like Elder Scrolls, but these drop in and drop out games, they're easy, they're social too, so you can jump on with a bunch of friends, and they're bite-sized, so you don't have to like commit 5 to 6 hours or something to it to really get a good chunk of the story. You can just jump in, do a bunch of stuff, and jump out, and it's cake. If you haven't played, if you're going to check it out, I would definitely suggest picking it up. There's crossplay.
Sounds awesome.
I want to say it's the first Sony game that they dual release for PC as well as PlayStation simultaneously. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's the case. Anyways, we got a bunch of questions for you, Colin, because
let's get it.
As I said, I've been following you for a while. I've watched a bunch of your stuff from Nerdbot Studios, and I kind of nerded out a little bit when you said, "Yeah, dude." Honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot harder to get you here. So I was like downplaying myself, going like, "It's okay if he says no, we can ask him again in a few months and go from there." I think you got back to me in like 15, 20 minutes, and you're like, "Yeah, man, I love that stuff. Let's do it."
Yeah, you listed 3 of my favorite things. Of course, I'd say yes.
Well,
yeah, when he mentioned that he got you for the show, and it was like, anyone in? I'm like, well, with your exuberant enthusiasm, how could I say no?
Yeah, awesome. Glad it worked out.
Well, I'm an East Coast boy. Actually, so is Zyber. What is it like on the West Coast? I mean, I've honestly the farthest west I've been in the Mississippi was I went to Texas once. Actually, now I've been to Iowa. Now that I say that, I actually went to
Nebraska.
Iowa last year, and I went to Nebraska last year, all last year for work. But what's it like on the West Coast?
You know, it's expensive, but it's really pretty. The weather is just. I never take it for granted. I never take it for granted. Like for filming locations, 2 hours I'm in the snow in the mountains, or 2 hours I'm this way I'm at the beach. 2 hours this way I'm at the desert. You know, it's really versatile, and I love that we have these options everywhere. You know, and then there's also like it looks like a big city if I go film in LA. You know, so I love that aspect of it. Weather is amazing. When it rains, everyone freaks out because we don't get rain very often. And yeah, it's great over here, man. You know, it's really who you surround yourself with that whole LA mentality. But there are like the LA influencer type people that I think they think they're a little bit better than I would say like the YouTube actors like myself. But I still really like it out here, and I don't plan on moving ever. I think I'm a California kid for the rest of my life.
Have you ever been to East? Have you ever come to the East Coast for any reason?
Yeah, for a while I was doing cons as a guest, and I went to New Hampshire, Philadelphia, Rhode Island, Florida. So like everywhere over there, I was doing shows and conventions, and I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, still missed Cali.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I've heard a lot of great things about Cali. My company is actually based out of there, out of Menlo Park.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet gig. But where did it all start? Like, what made you interested in acting, writing, producing, like or nerd? Like, where did it all start?
Man, my mom always says I came out of the womb excited about superheroes. That's like a quote that she said that I like to use in interviews because she just didn't understand it. My mom, my dad, my brother, no one really likes superheroes or nerdy stuff, but I always loved it. But then I got a little obsessed with caring about what people thought. You know, it wasn't cool to like superheroes or anything, but man, I secretly kept up on everything. I was obsessed with Smallville. Always kept an eye on Bruce Timm's universes, movies, anything like that. But I'd kind of keep it on the DL because I was trying to be cool, quote unquote cool. And then,
okay, so hold on a second. We can call you Deku then.
Yeah, I guess so. So my mom has this other story where I secretly went to San Diego Comic-Con in like 2007, and I didn't tell anyone, but I told her how much I loved it. I saw all these things that I loved, like panels, and I saw the Smallville cast and all. I didn't know that these things even existed, because I was forced down the athlete route, like football, track, all that stuff. But I was secretly really want to be creative, so I just didn't know. I didn't know that it was even a possibility to make a career out of this. And then she said, you love that con so much, maybe you should think about working in that field. And I was like, yeah, right. That job doesn't exist. Like I never got it. And so fast forward, I start really kind of embracing what I love when I think I was like 21 or so, and I started working for a comic book website, and I started writing, and then I started creating characters, and then on a whim, I filmed like a little really low, no budget superhero short. But after it was like just kind of an ad for the website, but it was like superhero and like fight scenes and stuff. And when I say I caught the bug bad, man. All I wanted to do was film. I wanted to write. I wanted to act. I wanted to just create. I just didn't know like what to do or where to do it or anything. So I just kept making my own content with my friends. And then I don't remember the exact moment, but I started to lean into doing fan films, and the fan films did way better than any of our original stuff. And then from fan films, I went to a job doing Star Wars product development for a costume company. And in my interview, I played them some of my videos. And then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll have you for licensing, whatever, for Star Wars, but you should also model for us too. And I was like, hell yeah. So then it started to become this thing where I'd go to work and it'd be Star Wars all day, every day. And I was like, okay, this is kind of what I want to do. I'm in the right realm, but I'm not, I can't do the office thing. I started going crazy. Then we started doing fan films on the side, like on the weekends. And in my head, I was like, if we just keep making content, good content, and keep trying to get better and better and better, never give up, we're going to get the right eyes on us, and that will lead to something else. And that's what I kept telling anyone who worked with us. I know this, we're not making any money. This isn't a job or anything, but I know that we'll get the right eyes on us, and like opportunities will happen. So then I'm working that Star Wars product development. I'm modeling for them, and I'm filming on the side. And we go to a Long Beach Comic Con, and we play a Green Arrow short that we did. And then this guy comes up to us after, and he's like, "Listen, I want to work with you guys. Do you have any projects in mind?" And I pitched a Nightwing series that didn't go anywhere. And then I pitched Reverse Flash Origins, and that changed my life. And I started getting more opportunities, doing more videos. Even at work, they started hiring me to do videos. Like all of these things were like kind of snowballing into the life that I really wanted, but I didn't really know what I wanted, Then after that, right when I was kind of hitting my stride, we started doing Power Rangers and working with real Rangers and stuff. And we did Ninja Turtles, and all these things were like my like actor checklist of things that I want to do, but I still had that office job. Then right when we were like really hitting, just things were doing really well, our team was getting bigger, we were working with these Rangers, COVID happens. And I lose my job. The whole company actually shut down. And then I started working for that guy that saw the Green Arrow short all those years ago. And so now that's my full-time job, doing these conventions, acting, writing, producing, and stuff like that. But it all stemmed. That was a really long version of the story, but it all stems from me just wanting to create. I tried one thing, got hooked, and then I just never gave up and just kept trying to do more. And even when things would go bad or not land, I just kept thinking of my next idea. And I've been really lucky with the people that have helped us, make these productions. And then now I'm full time working for Anime Fire, doing marketing for the cons, which is really fun because some days I am filming Ninja Turtles, and some days I am doing celebrity interviews. And then I also have my own project through Anime Fire, which is Dragon Ball Son of Trunks, which I'm working really hard on. And then that's where I am now. But that's the basics of the story of how I got here.
Dude, that is awesome. That is the probably the best follow your dream story I have heard in a long time.
Thank you.
So, was there a specific video that you posted that made you realize, hey, this is really popping off?
Yeah. Well, Reverse Flash was just the biggest game changer. It was the first time people really got into like what I wanted to do, because I had done like other gigs and acting stuff, and this was one that was like a big. I love telling untold stories, and when we released this teaser, it was just me changing into my Reverse Flash suit, and then like saying that Reverse Flash Origins coming soon, and it just blew up. It was just crazy with the views, and I've never experienced it before. I think I jumped from like 7,000 followers to like 17,000 followers going into Reverse Flash. And then I just kept pushing and pushing. And whenever, we weren't filming Reverse Flash, I was trying to come up with my other idea, like what's next. But that was definitely the game changer. And we had people that were just like diehard fans that I'd never experienced before. Because before that, I always had to like beg people to watch our honestly shitty videos. But then because we worked with NerdBot and that team really stepped up our quality, and people really liked that story because it's kind of like the Anakin Skywalker, Michael Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor thing, where you're kind of rooting for the villain, but you know that this villain's still going to turn evil. But I wanted to tell that story where you're like, this is all just a big misunderstanding. He didn't have to be this evil. And so I think people really resonate with that. And then when that took off, I just got so confident and excited to just do more while I still could. And so that's where we are now. But yeah, RFO was a huge game changer. And then when we started doing Power Rangers, my life changed forever with that too. Like filming with the people that I grew up watching was just so unreal to me. And I have to pinch myself sometimes.
So what's harder, writing or acting?
I guess it depends on the project. There's been times, and I'd rather not say any names or anything, but there have been times where it was my job to write and act in this project, and when it was my job, not something that I wanted to do, it was very hard for me. I had writer's block. I wasn't motivated. I was kind of hoping my boss wouldn't even bring up filming dates because I was just wanted it to go away. But then now when I'm like stoked on something, I love doing a deep dive into the lore. And then I know that when I'm writing it, and if I'm that character that's going to be doing that, I know that I'm writing in a way where that I can deliver it to my best ability. So it's really, I wouldn't say they're easy, but I enjoy both of them when it's a project that I care about. When it's a project that's forced on me, I don't enjoy either of them, to be perfectly honest.
That's fair. Well, talking about the Reverse Flash, how did that story come to fruition?
Well, I loved the Flash CW season 1, and I always like to do like a lore dive. I know the basics, but I knew like Professor Zoom. I didn't know about the difference between Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom, Zoom himself, all these different things. And so I went and did a deep dive on like lore, and there's been a lot of different versions of Reverse Flash, like origin stories. But one of them that I found super interesting was that he traveled and wanted to be like the Flash's friend. He wasn't like super evil. He was kind of like fanboying over the Flash. And then so I thought it'd be interesting to be like, dude, that like this story has never been concrete. Like, Superman's planet explodes and he gets sent to Earth. That's his origin. Reverse Flash was so windy and weird and different versions of all this stuff. And then I was like, with timelines, I can do whatever the fuck I want. This could just be a different timeline. And that's when I brought in like Batman Beyond and Aqua Girl and like all these different things that I would want to see as a DC fan. So it really came because it was an untold story that I knew that I could have a lot of fun with. And it was something that I wanted to see as a Flash fan. And I really tried to make it seem like right when you're like, oh, this guy, he's going evil. And then he does something good or like tries to, like his whole thing is like, why are we letting these people survive? We should kill them so that they don't kill other people. And that was like the main thing. So you kind of are rooting for him. And I just thought it was so interesting to build on that. And he's trying to be a hero, but he sucks at it because he's like really selfish and power hungry and, wants to do things a certain way. And I think after I figured that out around Ep 3, I had a lot of fun with the time traveling where he meets future versions of people in his life and they're like, dude, you're a fucking monster. What do you mean? And then he's like, well, I haven't done anything yet, So it all kind of came into that, and it just clicked in my head that that's something that people would want to tune in for when he does just a little something more evil each episode.
Yeah, I really enjoyed when I was watching through it. I've done some time dilation stuff in because I DM for Dungeons and Dragons, and I've done some time dilation stuff there, and it's always so difficult to keep everything, all the parts moving, and keep continuity going because you have one thing happen and that affects everything that happens after it. And then if you have something happened after and you talk about it, it has to happen before if they go back in time. So it's always interesting to see other time related stories like that and see how they mesh and work together. And I honestly, I think it worked well. There was a couple of spots in it where I had to rewatch and go, okay, what just happened? Okay, now I'm tracking. Because it was like,
Yeah.
I think I'm tracking. I think I'm following. But man, I just don't think I was. But what was probably like doing the Reverse Flash Origins? What was your best memory of this project?
I think putting on the suit for the first time was just a dream come true because I had been running around in like Zentai suits and like Target costumes for most of my career until then. And I say career lightly. I was literally just a superhero YouTube dude. But I put on the full suit for the first time down to like the really nice quality cowl, which was like polyurethane or something, but it was like TV show quality. And I looked at myself in the mirror, just head to toe, Reverse Flash. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, I felt so cool. And then another one of my favorite moments was we filmed that opening scene. I had never done like a love scene, not like making love, but like a love interest scene.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous, dude. I was so nervous about my breath, how sweaty I was. I was nervous about everything because I'd never done it before. And Elvin, the guy I keep telling about, my boss, he gets it. We just finished filming. By the way, I filmed in that full suit in 118-degree weather. So I was
Holy hell.
dying. And I get home Sunday night after 2 days straight of filming, nonstop filming, like 10-hour days. And then he was so excited with it, he sent me a cut of that first scene. And I'm watching it, and it's me basically telling my love that I got to go into the past to change the Flash. And I'm watching it with my girlfriend at the time, and it ends because it was just the opening scene. And I look over, and my girlfriend's crying. She was like, "You guys like each other," and I was like, "No, that's acting. I swear." She's like, "I know about this. You guys will fall in love on set," and I was like, "No, babe, that's acting. I'm acting. We don't even know each other." So I always have a fond memory of that too, because I was like, I think we can do this and make it really good. And then also the first time my eyes glue red, I was really fanboying over that moment too. But there's so many times where I even I hate downplaying it, but I got to be honest with myself. Like, it is just a YouTube series, but I'm doing things that I like dreamed about as a kid, like, and I feel very accomplished doing these things.
Dude, you are living the dream. You're like own that. You are living the dream. And dude, that has got to be a fan. Like, if you think about it, that interaction with your girlfriend was probably the best compliment you could have gotten ever. Like, seriously, what better compliment could you have gotten about acting other than "you're gonna fall"? No, we're acting. Like, how much better of a compliment could you have gotten?
No, I was like laughing, but I also felt bad. But I was like, that's a really good sign. And I called Elvin and told him about it. We just had a good laugh about it while my girlfriend's like, it's kind of dark comedy moment.
So you talk about putting on the costume for the first time. The costume design for the different projects that you've been on has been absolutely stellar. Like,
yeah.
Do you have input on that? Is it just a costume that you're handed and boom, you got to do it? Like, how does that work out?
That's a really great question. I've never been asked that before, but I want to take credit for it because it's usually me that gets it together. And, we're not like some big studio. So sometimes I will just get something and then start building around it and then be like, hey, boss, what do you think about doing this? Like a perfect example is Dragon Ball Son of Trunks. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew I want to do something Dragon Ball live action and I want to do something Trunks. So I had just finished a con. I was like partying and like, yeah, I did it. Yeah. And I'm drinking and I hop on eBay and I just buy the Trunks sword with no plans at all. Excuse me. And then I slowly but surely start piecing together like this costume for something. And then I was like, okay, I can't play Trunks. I don't think a 33-year-old white dude should play Trunks, but I could fast forward it to the future and do like the next generation thing like Batman Beyond does, like that, where they still have like the legacy characters, as I call them, but we can do this next thing. And it was all because I impulsively, drunkenly bought the sword. So, but as for other costumes, like in Power Rangers, you got to follow what the show did. So we kind of pieced that together from online stores. But then there's like my Sam O'Neill jacket, which people like, they make their own jackets to like kind of fit in with our universe. and we all pieced together our jackets and like our civilian suits in Shattered Pass is one comfortable, two really cool, and kind of like fit still in universe. So I would say that I do have a big say in the costume, and it's usually just starts piece by piece, and then I kind of have that as my reason to film things.
In regards to costumes, have you ever thought of like maybe reaching out to like say, I don't know, Drew the costumer or something to like get input on costumes?
No, not really. I mean, we kind of do what we have. A lot of it's piecing things together on Amazon, and then we were really blessed with our friend who owns 4 life-size Ninja Turtle suits. So that was a real big blessing. Everything else is just kind of pieced together like that. But for like original content, that's something that I would like go ask for some help with, because otherwise I'm kind of just guessing most of the time. And I really lucked out too with my Saiyan armor for Dragon Ball, because I was like, no one's going to care about a dude in a jean jacket. They're going to care about a dude in Saiyan armor. That's like the clickable thing that will get people to click it. And I got really lucky because the place that we rented, the set that's like the bunker for Dr. Giro, we got there and that guy that runs that owns the set was making Saiyan armor. So I like bought it right there and put it on, and well, the rest is history. Now it's like my go-to suit for the show.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
One crazy coincidence.
Yeah, really.
So on Reverse Flash, are we getting more?
No, we did that multimedia finale, and it was kind of always how I wanted to end it. Basically, him getting the idea to just torture Barry, kill his mom, and everything. I didn't get to do every tie-up like I wanted to because our Flash and my love interest in the show both moved like across the country. So I never got to finish it. So I got asked every time we would release something, where's the Reverse Flash Origins finale? So then I made something up where basically it's piecing together, and it basically seals the whole time loop of like why the CW show even happened, right? Because Eobard killed Barry's mom. So I just did a full circle, everything that went wrong in our show, and then boom, he's like, how do I make your life miserable? You ruined my life too. But then he sees him playing with his mom, and then he's like, oh, now I know. And then that boom sets into the motion of the CW show. So it was all one big giant prequel, basically.
Nice. Well, disappointing, but I understand.
Yeah.
So out of all your past projects, I mean, I know you got a bunch of current ones going. You got the TMNT stuff and DBZ Son of Trunks. But out of all your past projects, what would you say is the one that stands out? Like, what's your favorite one?
I'd say Judge Dredd versus Mandalorian. I'm really proud of that one. And I got to do my first wire stunt, and I felt amazing in that costume. I thought the fight choreo was cool, and we just kind of went all out. The location was crazy, and it was like not just a fight scene. It was like there was like a story behind it. And then like a little inside scoop into me. My dad doesn't really support or watch what I do, but I remember this came out, and he gathered like our family friends around and played it on the big screen TV for everyone. So I'll always have that like really fond memory of him being supportive of this project, but nothing else. But yeah, I'll always love that one. I'll always be proud of it, and I'll always say like I got to do like my dream set and situation was that, and I just felt so cool in that suit doing the fight scene. Unfortunately, I lost, but I still had a really good time.
Yeah, I mean, so like I know you've done the Judge Dredd. You've done, I think it was Leo versus Red Ranger.
Yep.
Is that going to be a reoccurring thing, or are we gonna get more and more of those, or was that like a bite-sized thing that was just going to be there for a few things?
So we have 3 out. We have Green Arrow versus Daredevil, and then the 2 you named. And then I'm trying to find one that makes sense to do on Anime Fire. But man, these anime VFX and graphics and everything just a little out of our wheelhouse. But I did pitch one to my boss, but I decided I'm spreading myself too thin trying to do all of this at once. So I'm going to finish Son of Trunks, finish Shattered Past, and then hopefully get back to it. But yeah, I would love to do another character select, and I'd love to do like more like video game or anime characters to kind of switch up the genre and release it on our new YouTube.
Awesome. So speaking of that, or speaking of projects specifically, do you have like a best story or best project that just you had stuck in your head and you're like, man, this is gonna be great, but it just never came to life?
Yeah, a little.
That's righteous. Yeah, like the weird, like I say weird. The disappointing thing is that there's a lot of great thinkers out there. There's a lot of great stories, and people like there is a segment of people that are just so mainstream. Their brains are so stuck in mainstream that if it isn't a blockbuster, if it isn't a triple A title, if it isn't a an X, Y, or Z, then they're just like, no, I'm not even going to pay any attention to that. But there are so many great stories out there. I mean, just take Reverse Flash Origins. It's a great story from like of a twist, not a twisted, but a twist on angle of instead of it being just here, this is villain and you should just hate him. It's almost like the hero fall scenario of, well, no, he wanted to do well and it didn't turn out that way. Like,
Yeah,
he had the right idea. He executed it incorrectly.
yeah, and there's even people that like should be in the writers' room of these big movies. Like, I don't know if you ever watched Unworthy Productions, but Jordan Barnett writes some of the best Power Rangers fiction or lore or fan fiction or whatever anywhere. And I'm like, I go, dude, Boom Studios needs to hire you. Like, you have the best ideas, and he's doing that on like a shoestring budget with millions of views, and like he's the whole reason I even started doing Power Ranger content. But like people like that, I wish they were in the writers' chairs for like Disney and Marvel and stuff, because I think they're pretty confused over there.
There have been some fantastic comic book writers that if you could put them in the seat and have them write a show, or a movie, I think you would nail so many things. And we have the technology now that whatever they make up in a comic, they can put on the screen pretty easy.
Yeah. I think the big key is, and I say this on interviews and panels and stuff, is like put fans in there. Put fans in the writing room. You will get what the fans want to see if you put the fans in there. And I think that's what I try to do, with our limited resources and everything. But I always say I try to make the content that I would want to see. And like these big wigs over at these, big movies and TV shows, and you're just like, what are they doing? Then you find out that they never even watched the show or read the comic or anything. You're like, why did you get the job? That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's like Dave Filoni on the Star Wars universe. Like Dave Filoni is probably one of the biggest Star Wars nerds, like in existence. And like it shows.
James Gunn with DC, he's a huge DC fan. I got mad faith.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where James Gunn takes it, because I've always had a very special spot in my heart for the whole DC universe, and it always drives me nuts whenever they're just kind of like how do I say this nicely? No, I guess I don't say it nicely. They completely screw themselves up because they have so many different writers that don't read everybody else's work. Like they don't care about the universe. It's almost like they're just saying, "Hey, go write a story because you're a good writer." And you could be a good writer, but you're not a good world builder, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say.
Totally agree. Yeah.
And every time DC just gets so far down the rabbit hole, they're like, well, you know what? We're just gonna, I don't know, we're gonna destroy all the universes and make them all into one, and that's how we're gonna fix it. And then when that screws up, they're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna split it all up and make 4 billion universes again.
Oh man.
So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some of that continuity get put into one. I know when like Zack Snyder had an idea And I know he was trying to go down that route, and unfortunately, just things didn't work out the way that he wanted. But I would hope that if he had really gotten his hands on it, like, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name already.
Kevin Feige?
Kevin Feige, yes, that's it. Kevin over in the Marvel, like if he was given the reins and just able to build a world, build a universe, like Marvel's already proven that it works. Like,
Yeah,
people want to see that. People want that continuity.
I completely agree.
Oh yeah. But okay, current projects.
Yeah.
So you just came off shooting TMNT. I think you said yesterday, right?
Yeah, was that yesterday? Holy shit. Yeah, it was last night.
So what can you tell us about that project?
I can tell you that it is like kind of a night, like the last Ronin story is done, right? Well, no spoilers, but it's finished. It's over. So we did a project that's kind of just like a night, like a day in the life of the last Ronin. So it's kind of like a one-off mission type thing, but it still pays homage to the comics. It's not. We didn't want it. It's a live action interpretation, so it's not like square by square. It's its own story, but we still have, obviously, the last Ronin. I don't know if you guys do. You guys know who he is? I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have Mikey, and then you have like the turtles as like Force ghosts, and then you have Shredder's grandson and stuff like that. And we're hoping it does well so that we can do like a full episode and do some flashbacks where I can play Casey because I love playing Casey. And so yeah, it's basically at the suit. We built it on top of like a legit like 90s live action Ninja Turtle, but then we built like armor on top of it so that would match the comic, but still look badass. And then we filmed a big fight scene with Shredder and some goons, or the new Shredder and some goons. But I think it's going to be like an original thing that no one's ever done before, but still will pay homage and like respect the source material. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm just helping produce it. I pitched this idea last year, and then we just kind of got so caught up in things. But then shout out to Dade Elza, who's playing Mikey, writing it and editing it. He just put pedal to the metal, and we started filming right away. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. And Dade can move in that suit surprisingly well, so it's going to be a really cool show.
Oh, dude, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Yes, I actually I have, and I don't have it here because it's out. It's over in the other room because I'm painting it. But I actually have a Last Ronin miniature that I'm currently painting, along with a Xeno Sith and RoboCop.
Yeah.
Because I got those and I just had to.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about the Last Ronin. I saw the ad for it on, I think it was your Facebook page. It was either yours or Nerdbots, one of the two. Mm-hmm. But so TMNT, comics, fanfics, all that jazz. So out of comic books, cartoons, movies, are you a fan of all three? Is there like the one that you really go to?
I love going to the movies, dude. I'll go see a movie I'm not even excited for just because I love the movie experience. Perfect example is I don't really give a shit about Madam Web, but I'm going to go see it because I love going to the movies. So I definitely lean towards movies like that. But man, if you give me a good TV show, I love to binge watch TV too. So those are definitely my favorite medias.
So I'm assuming that you've seen the TMNT cartoon, like from what was it, 90s?
So I love the 03 version the best, but I always check in to see like what they do every time they reboot the Turtles. So they've done it like 5 times. But yeah, the 03 one is definitely my favorite and where most of my knowledge comes from. And then also the video games. And then yeah, I always try when they bring something back, but sometimes I can't stick with it. So I don't want to speak ill of any of the incarnations, but 03 is definitely my favorite.
That tracks. That's fair enough. Have you read any of the comics?
Yeah, I had the big trade back of the like first, man, I want to say like first like 10 issues of the original Ninja Turtles where they were all black and white and just red bandanas, like the OG one. So I had that, and then obviously I dove into the Last Ronin so that I know what we're talking about. Because originally I thought I was going to write it, but then things worked out where Dade's writing it, but I still, have my knowledge of that. And then I'll randomly hop in to any crossovers. I love the crossovers with the Power Rangers where they become Power Rangers. So yeah, I've definitely read some comics of theirs.
Dude, weren't the TMNT comics like super dark?
Yeah, they were gnarly and like
holy hell.
down to like slicing people up. And it's so funny that they got so gimmicky and like dorky for the 90s cartoon, and that's what got so popular. And then they made them a little more serious for 03, goofy again for 12, and then Rise of the Ninja Turtles. I don't even know what they were doing on that one. That was
yeah. No, I originally watched TMNT back when it was a cartoon in the 90s, and I'm assuming, Zyber, would you say fair enough that's where you were introduced to TMNT?
Oh yeah, early 80s, man.
Mm.
Yeah, so like that's where I got introduced. So I knew them, like I started off with them as this quirky, like this group, you know, and then you led into the movies where, you know, it slices, it dices, it julienne fries. And then like when I got older, also I got to give a shout out to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game on the Nintendo Entertainment System, because that game was probably the first Souls-like game ever, because that game was so frigging difficult and so brutal.
Yes.
And I put so much time into it. But I didn't get introduced to the comics until, God, I want to say it was like 2000. I'll say it was like 2004 or 2005. And I picked up a turtle comic thinking, oh man, I love the turtles. I remember them. I picked it up, started reading, and I went, wow, these guys have seen some shit. Like, holy hell. Like, Leo. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say they actually use their blades in the cartoons and stuff. Leo just kicks people, or Raph just kicks people. But in the comics, they really slice and stab.
Dude, Leo is like the poster child for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Oh, man.
Raph is like, I don't know, man. That dude, like he had anger issues in the movies.
Uh-huh.
He has anger issues in the comics. Like he is taking out some shit on people in the comics. It's it was a stark contrast from what I expected going from the cartoons and the movies, then reading the comics, and I'm like, man, if I read this when I was younger, I'm not sure I would have watched that show in the same way. And it's funny.
It definitely goes pretty Spawn real quick in the comics.
Oh, dude, they like splitting people the hard way. Like that was actually, what issue was that? I don't remember what, but it was Leo literally splitting a dude in half the hard way, and I was just like, holy shit. But anyway, so yeah, super excited about this TMNT stuff coming up. I am going to stay tuned. I hope everybody's listening stays tuned. And then you've got another current project that you're working on. You actually mentioned it already, Dragon Ball Z: Son of Trunks. So
I'm actually really excited for this.
I am too, because ironically, it's quick story time with Cecil. I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z for the longest time because everybody I knew at the time watched Dragon Ball Z, and I'm one of those people that if the crowd is going this way, I go, there may be a cliff over that way, so I'm going to stick over here and see if people just fall off the edge. Okay. So I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z for the longest time, but the one thing I did watch as soon as I saw it was the story of Trunks, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I dig this. I like this. I dig this. I can get into this. Mm-hmm. So I really dug it, and I really got into it. And then I started watching the rest of Dragon Ball Z, and to be perfectly honest, the rest of Dragon Ball Z is okay. But I always find myself gravitated towards that Trunks story, and I always dug it. But you play, and I hope I get pronounced the name right, Vihan.
Yeah, you did it.
Okay, correct. Okay. I'm making sure because I even wrote into my notes of like Vihan. I hope that's how I say it. You play Vihan, and spoiler alert for anybody, Trunks' son.
Yes, correct.
So can you give us just like a 30,000-foot synopsis of what we can expect in the Son of Trunks?
The big catchphrase that I'm using is the next generation of Dragon Ball is here. And I'm really trying to make it about like sons, daughters, androids, immortals, that next variation of things. And, bless Dragon Ball and all that it's done and how much I love it. But man, for them to go from Dragon Ball Super superhero, which like broke records in the movie theaters to not make anything else until Dragon Ball Daima, which is where there are kids again. It made me go, what are you? What? Why? We don't want to see them as little kids. So then I thought, dude, I'll do the opposite of them. I'm going to go into the future and have everyone like dead or grown up or the next generation. Like, what makes these things special? So it's a lot of daddy issues. I'll be perfectly honest about that. But it's also about this person, Vihan, realizing that he's his own person. Yes, he is the son of Trunks. Yes, he's trying to like restore everything, but he's way more than just the son of Trunks. So we have returning legacy characters like Super 17 and Piccolo. We have sons and daughters like obviously Vihan, and then we have Goten's daughter who is I named Kiki, and things like that, where it's like that next thing, just like how Batman Beyond gave you Terry, but then also gave you like that new Scarecrow and stuff. Things that still are familiar but also fresh. So yeah, that's what you can expect, and I know what not to do because everyone's like so hurt by Dragon Ball Evolution, and I get it. But man, they like don't get me wrong. There's a lot of more love than hate, but people are just straight up going, "Don't do this project. Don't do it. We've already gotten Dragon Ball Evolution. Just don't do it." And then I was like, "Guys, that was a movie from like 15 years ago, and that guy didn't know anything about Dragon Ball. He did it just for a paycheck. So have a little faith. We are fans. This is made for fans by fans, And so I would just say like it's in caring hands that love Dragon Ball and want to do something new and different, and to give it a shot. And don't let mean old Dragon Ball Evolution hurt you. Give us a chance and check it out because we're doing something really special here.
See, now you just said something that gave me so much hope because made by fans for fans.
Yes.
And I know that I can already hear people's going, "Oh man, that is so lame. That is lame." I don't care if it's lame. When you said that, I was like, "Yes, okay." Now I'm feeling good about it because I'm 100%. I'm a weirdly blunt and honest dude. I started watching. I'm going, man. And I really was thinking Dragon Ball Evolution. I was like, oh, like I really dug. I dug Reverse Flash Origins. I love the Power Ranger stuff he's doing. I'm really excited about TMT. I'm like, but man, Son of Trunks. I really love Trunks, and man, I'd hate it if this got fucked up, and I started not liking this dude because he fucked up Trunks. I'm like, no, no, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I just kept telling myself it's gonna be good. Now, but you just saying that, like, it almost lifted a weight off me of like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
I'm glad to hear that.
I hope I didn't offend you. I didn't mean to if I did. It's just it's one of those, like, you hold something near and dear. It's kind of like, God, it's kind of like that first Silent Hill game where it was so bad, but it was so good. Like, there were so many bad things about it, but it was so good in so many ways that, like, somebody could be just, it's like your little brother or something. You'd be like, somebody starts talking smack about him and be like, yeah, okay, no, I can talk shit about him, but you can't. No.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm super excited for Dragon Ball Z Son of Trunks now.
Thank you. That's what I like to hear. Thank you.
I'm gonna go back and rewatch the Trunks story and then hopefully lead into this, and I'm gonna dig it, and I'll definitely be putting it out there on reviews and stuff, and make sure I give you thumbs up, and I'll be honest, I'll be fair though. I'll be honest but fair. But you got some heavy shoes to fill there. Just letting you know, you got some heavy shoes to fill.
I know what I'm going up. I'm sorry, Zyber. Do you have a question? I didn't want to.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, what you're going into and what you mentioned is that everlasting stigma when anything anime goes live action, and it sucks. It kind of is that unfortunate punch to the gut because there's sometimes equally as much hate coming at you as love.
Yeah, and I learned a long time ago, like, to have thick skin about it and kind of just kill them with kindness. So when people talk shit on the trailer or whatever, I just go, thanks for watching. I go, I hope we get you over with episode 1. That's all you can really do. But a lot of people go into it not thinking. They just go like, that doesn't look like Trunks. And I was like, he's the son of Trunks. It's the whole title of the whole episode. What do you mean? And then a little cool BTS for you guys. That opening sequence in the trailer, if you do go back and watch it, that's actually the voice of Gohan, Kyle Hebert, that we got before the trailer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I showed him the trailer at Anime Pasadena where we debuted it. And he obviously, for legal reasons, he doesn't want to get credited. I don't know if Funimation will be pissed or something. But he voiced Gohan in the trailer, which is just so cool to me. And I go and I show him the trailer. And it's on my phone, and it ends, and then he just goes, well done, sir, well done, and shakes my hand. And I was like, all right, I'm on to something here. And now I'm like low-key trying to find other ways to bring back other voice actors to reprise their roles, because we did it. I don't know if you guys are Digimon fans, but we did a live-action Digimon short, and I got 3 of the returning voice actors to come back and reprise their roles too. So I'm like kind of making it like my gimmick to get these people back, for nostalgia's sake and stuff. So it was really cool to have the voice of Gohan voice Gohan and say, I'm sorry, Vihan, your dad, he didn't make it. And like, that's Gohan saying my made up character's name. It's so cool.
Dude, that is fucking awesome. Now I know what I'm doing right after this recording, because now I have to go back and re-listen to that, because I heard it and I'm like, man, that sounds really good. Like that's literally what went through my head. I was like, man, that sounds really good.
Yeah,
that was it.
When people find out, they usually give me a little bit more slack with the episode. So hopefully they enjoy it. The Gohan sequence is longer in the actual episode, and it's him giving the sword to little kid me, which is a very Dragon Ball thing to do, because there's always flashbacks and seeing them as kids and stuff. So I hope people enjoy it. But it was really cool to have Gohan as a part of it.
Dude, I'm trying to think of a word that's just not cliche to say, but the only word coming to mind, that is epic. That's so freaking cool.
Thank you very much.
That is actually pretty brilliant, though. Like,
yeah,
just the connection there, because Gohan being Trunks' master in all of it, through the android invasion. Yeah, just going that route and like, hey, your dad just Vegeta'd out of here.
Yeah. And a little more BTS. The name Vihan is a combination of 2 people that really impacted that version of Trunks, the Z version of Trunks, not the Super version, but the Z version of Trunks, who trained with Gohan, one-armed Gohan, and looked up to his father. So I named him Vihan, a combination of Vegeta and Gohan.
Nice.
See, I put that together, but I was like, is that what he was going for?
Yeah.
Maybe. If I remember, I'll ask.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
That's
wait,
cool.
Would that be veggie hamburger?
It would be veggie hamburger. Those names are ridiculous. When I first announced it, it was just the logo, and it's like coming soon. You're like, what are you gonna name them? Trousers? And they just started doing all these pants jokes and guessing the name. And I was like, no, I'm not doing some stupid pants play on words.
Oh man. Well, future projects. What do you got coming up? What do you have coming on the horizon that you can talk about?
Man, I really have focused really hard on Son of Trunks. Whenever I have kind of a free weekend, I dedicate it to that. And then luckily, I'm just kind of secondhand on Last Ronin. And then I owe the series finale of Shattered Past, but I've just been really focused on building Anime Fire. So definitely wrapping up Shattered Past. There's talk about Bloodline of the Grid episode 3 happening, which is the one with all the in-space rangers. And I filmed one day on that, but I don't know what happened because I'm not producing that. And then other potential future projects really, and this might sound bad, but it really depends on how Son of Trunks does. Because if Son of Trunks flops, I'm not going to do another episode. If it does really well, then I'm going to go pedal to the metal to try to keep that momentum up. But as of now, I mean, we're doing 3 conventions a year, which takes up all my time. I work every day on it, and then when I do have a day off, I try to film something or be a good boyfriend. But as for like potential future projects, it really does depend on how Son of Trunks does views wise to justify doing more, basically.
Well, I hope Son of Trunks does fantastic because I want to see more.
Thank you so much. I really hope so too. We have one more filming day left. I'm really excited because we got this is going to be tough, but I think we can do it. We got prosthetic for Piccolo. We're going to do a live action older Piccolo, and our VFX, our special effects makeup artist is just super super talented. He showed me like how it's going to look and everything, and the guy playing Piccolo. It's one of my best friends, and he loves Piccolo. And I had to convince him. I used like my birthday wish to get him to play Piccolo because he was really nervous about how it would look and if people would like it. But then at the end of my birthday, they're putting me in the car, and I'm like, "Please be my Piccolo." And then he goes, "All right, I'll be your fucking Piccolo," and shuts the door on me. So now we have the costume. We're gonna do a test effects, make him green and everything. But I'm gonna fanboy being on set looking dead in the eye of a live action Piccolo. I hope it translates well.
Fantastic. I actually have one more random question that just came up when we were talking about it because we were talking about Power Rangers and whatnot. And I don't know why it just came up, but did you happen to see the Power Ranger? I'm assuming you have, but the Netflix Power Ranger movie, I think it was called Once and Always.
Yeah,
did you happen to see that?
Yes.
What was your opinion of that? Brutal honesty.
Yeah, they had an opportunity to make it like for us in our age group, and I think they kind of dropped the ball on connecting things and doing all these like throwbacks. And it was cool to see all of our people back and still being able to kick ass and everything. But I had Catherine Sutherland and David Yost, which is the Pink and the Blue Rangers, on our shows. And I did my best to like really pay homage to what they've done and who they are and everything. And it just kind of felt like Once and Always was just a little cranked up production wise version of just another Power Rangers episode. So I wasn't too stoked on it, to be honest. But it's always nice seeing like old friends and everything like coming back. But they could have done something really special since it was coming to Netflix and obviously made for us, not for kids. Like we all know why they brought everyone back. And like a perfect example is Once a Ranger, Always a Ranger was just a great anniversary episode, and that was still a kids show. Forever Red, probably one of the best crossovers in the history of Power Rangers, and I was still on the kids show. But this one, I wasn't stoked on it. I didn't go back and watch it or anything. So yeah, I think they could have done better, honestly.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It's just I geeked out on it because I grew up with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the 90s. Yeah. And watching this, it was just one of those, oh man, that brought a bunch of people together. I would have liked to see a couple more in there, but I was like, oh, that brought a couple people together. And I know that, oh my God, I'm forgetting names again. I'm horrible with names. The actor who played Tommy.
Jason David Frank.
Yes, Jason David Frank. Thank you. I can't believe I keep forgetting names tonight. I know that he had died recently. Like, not. I think it was actually not long before that movie came, or that show, or that Netflix movie came out.
Yeah, correct.
And I would have really loved to see him in it, but obviously, he couldn't have been.
Yeah. The last thing we're going to see him in is that Legend of the White Dragon thing that Bat and the Sun's doing. And that's the end. But yeah, it's so sad, man. That guy really had an effect on all of the Power Ranger fans and the community itself, and it really messed with me wanting to continue doing Power Rangers content, honestly. But I'm trying to dedicate the last episode to him and make it something to kind of inspire people and give them hope, and not give up, unfortunately, like JDF did.
Yeah. Yeah, I can honestly remember when he came out, Green Ranger was probably my, when he was first introduced, hands down my favorite Ranger, and it was just like, oh man. And it was again that villain turn hero arc, and it was just, it's been told so many times, but it fits so well, and he played it so well, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here.
So to wrap things up, final thoughts. Do you have advice for anyone who would be thinking about going down the path that you did? Would you have anything, any shortcut advice or anything? Let's say there's a kid who has that same dream, that same aspiration as you. Anything that you could tell them that in today's day and age would give them the inspiration or the edge to keep going and make it there?
Yeah, I wish I had started sooner just embracing what I love. I wasted a lot of years kind of denying the things that I wanted to do with my life. And if people are interested in filmmaking, my best advice, I forgot who said it. It was some director, but I don't want to butcher it if I'm wrong, but your phones can film in like 1080p and like 4K now. So there's no reason why you can't dive in and just start testing things and trying things and filming something. And I think being afraid of failure, as cheesy as and cliche as it sounds, being afraid of failure is what stops a lot of people from doing this. So like you know my whole story now. I never gave up, and I never wanted to. And even if Son of Trunks fails, I'm going to come up with another idea. Like I'll never stop until I'm like too old to be doing this. And I believe that I've made some of the best friends of my life. I've done some things that I would have dreamed of as a kid, and it's all because I didn't quit. So my advice is to just get out there and start and try, and then just never stop. And that's something that I accidentally did, but I wasted a lot of time doing nothing, and I really regret those years of my life.
You pulled up a great point there about failure, and I think it was Franklin D. Roosevelt who said, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor."
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
So, Colin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I had a great time talking to you. I look forward to your content when it comes out, and I hope sometime in the future to get you back on and we can talk again about what you've got going on and some of the new stuff that you got coming out.
I would love that. Yeah, I had a blast with you guys too. And any time, or if you guys would love to have me back on or anything, I'm totally down. I had a blast with you guys. You guys are awesome.
Oh man, thank you so much.
I'll add one thing on the Son of Trunks thing when it drops. If like it bangs to me, you'll probably have like 1 million autistic watches on it.
Thank you.
He'll probably sit there on play on repeat and just keep going.
Yeah, literally, it'll probably be on repeat, and I'll just be there like in a tism.
Well, I hope it lands, man. I really hope, and it's really like my love letter to Dragon Ball and how much I love Dragon Ball and love that universe. And I'm just trying to do an untold story that still pays respect to the source material that we all love.
Well, I'm super excited. Well, again, thank you so much for joining, and have a great night.
Thank you, guys. You guys have an awesome night too. It's been a pleasure, and hit me up if you guys ever need anything. I'd love to help, however.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
You as well. Have a good one.